Alright, we've all been there. We all know the feeling of being 2 or 3 days out from a high-stakes election that could decide whether you end up in jail, and a new Ann Selzer poll comes out showing you down in what should be a red stronghold, so naturally, we all would go on a 1 a.m. Twitter temper tantrum trying to pander to the lowest common denominator. We've all been there multiple times, but Donald Trump seems to find himself in this situation a lot because last night at 12:30 a.m. to 1 a.m., he was just posting about VP Harris and his apocalyptic vision for what the country would look like under a VP Harris presidency, which isn't backed up by any data. 4 years ago, Donald Trump said that Biden would cause a 1929-style depression. Here we are, 4 years later, the stock markets are posting all-time highs. There was inflation due to supply chain issues, but Biden has done a great job of easing that, and Donald Trump returns with his apocalyptic rhetoric, trying to make people scared about immigrants, about the economy collapsing, and about a black woman being the leader of the country. I'm sorry, but that is what Donald Trump is trying to play to. He is trying to make sure people don't trust her, but it's not working because the polling we have is looking amazing. You know, with 3 days to go, 2 days to go, we have no time to waste. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe. I keep getting comments like this. I've been watching you for a while now, but I didn't realize I never subscribed. I am now voting blue. Make sure you subscribe below this video. Let's start off with this Donald Trump tweet that reads, "If Kamala wins, you are 3 days away from the start of a 1929-style economic depression." Let me just point out, Donald Trump has this veil of being good with the economy, but he's not. All of his economic accomplishments were off the back of Obama's economy. He passed one large tax cut, but it didn't have any impact on the GDP according to every single study. It didn't have any impact on middle class or lower income workers. Donald Trump then said, "If I win, you are 3 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, and the brightest economic future the world has ever seen." He's using salesman-like tactics, and something that always annoys me is that Democrats have to clean up the mess Republicans make, and then Republicans get the credit. The obvious example, if we want to go back to recent history, would be the economic crash in 2008. It happened under Bush. Obama comes in, spends 4, 5, 6 years cleaning it up. By the time it's all clean and better, let's say in 2015, a lot of it was eased, then Trump comes into the White House 2 years later, 2017, January, and he takes credit for it. Trump then destroys, wrecks the economy under COVID. And you know, the economy would have taken a hit no matter who the president was, but Trump's abysmal leadership definitely exacerbated the problem, both economically and with the death rate. And then it gets blamed on Biden. And then Biden fixes the economy, and I swear to God, if Trump gets back in and starts to claim that he fixed the economy, yeah. Kamala's inflation nightmare has cost the typical American family $30,000 in higher prices, and now she wants to impose the largest tax hike in American history and raise your taxes by $3,000 a year. None of this is true whatsoever. He's just throwing numbers out there when, in fact, his idea for tariffs, his tariff idea would be passed off to the consumers and would increase everybody's prices, basically like a 50% tax on everything. That's probably why he's losing Iowa in this new Selzer poll, because farmers in Iowa were hurt pretty badly by Trump's tariffs the first time around. And I want us all to back up for a second really quickly. I don't think Kamala is going to win Iowa. I saw people last night saying Blexus, Blue Texas, Blue Florida, and Blue Iowa is all going to happen. We should take a step back. Trump is going to win Texas, likely. Trump is likely going to win Iowa. There's a 95% chance. But we can use that poll as a broader indicator of the trends that we're seeing among elderly women, among young women, among white women, of course among black women, but white women in particular have shifted a lot from voting Republican to voting blue. Donald Trump then said, "I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits." He's literally just throwing out random catchphrases that sound good that aren't even effective. I've read multiple studies showing that while yes, of course it hurts when you get taxed on your tips when you're working in the service industry, but there are much more effective ways to help equalize everything. Like just increasing the minimum wage would create a better incentive structure, a better floor, whereas if you do no tax on tips, there are scenarios where your boss will pay you less, where your boss will try to withhold some sort of funds because they can use your tips to justify that as your income since you're not getting taxed on it. I've just seen multiple studies showing that there are way more effective ways than Donald Trump just throwing random stuff out. I mean, no tax on overtime. I'd be okay with that, but VP Harris would definitely match that. Donald Trump is now trying to act like the pro-worker candidate when all of these are ideas that Bernie Sanders has been talking about for decades. You're a little bit late to the boat, buddy. Donald J. Trump then says, as we rescue our economy, I will also restore our borders. And let me just point out, this was at 12:25 a.m., November 3rd, 2024. That's the feeling that we've all had when that Ann Selzer poll comes in and you start to panic because you realize you're going to jail. Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted on our people. Just notice how with every day we get closer to the election, the rhetoric gets amped up. So like 4 months ago, he wasn't saying anything about Kamala Harris not being black. I mean, his rhetoric was decently calm. And then he starts saying Kamala Harris turned black. And then he starts saying stuff about Liz Cheney. And now he's saying Kamala Harris orchestrated one of the most egregious betrayals that any leader in American history has ever inflicted. Like, just read these words. This is wild stuff to say. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums, and mental institutions from around the world, from Venezuela to the Congo, stealing countless American lives. I mean, the first reply sums it up well from Art Candy. You're so desperate, and we can all smell it. This dude could not telegraph his desperation more even if he tried. I mean, if I were writing a script for a movie and I needed one of my characters to be desperate, I still don't think I could create a character that is as shameless and openly desperate as Donald Trump. But I do want to bring your attention over to Cardi B absolutely shredding Elon Musk. I mean, this interaction should be enough to make your day. Make sure you drop a like on the video for this interaction. This got 400,000 likes. 30.7 million views. Let's see. It actually ratioed Elon Musk's, which means she got a higher like ratio. Elon Musk got 363,000. Cardi B got 401,000. So let's start from the beginning. Elon Musk posted on Twitter, another puppet who can't even talk without being fed the words. The Kamala campaign has no authenticity or true empathy. And the reason he's saying that is because Cardi B gave a speech at Kamala's rally and the teleprompter went out, so she was reading it off of her phone. No biggie, she was reading it off of her phone. Not everybody is a polished politician who's been giving speeches for decades and practicing. She's not gonna give some amazing political speech. It's okay if she uses her phones. So, Elon Musk said another puppet who can't even talk without being fed the words. Cardi B responds, I'm not a puppet, Elon. I'm a daughter of 2 immigrant parents that had to work their asses off to provide for me. I'm a product of welfare. I'm a product of Section 8. I'm a product of poverty, and I'm a product of what happens when the system is set up against you. But you don't know nothing about that. You don't know one thing about the American struggle. P.S. Fix my algorithm. I mean, this has to have won us a non-zero amount of votes. I'm not going to say this is going to sway the election or even have a massive impact beyond the Puerto Rico comments that Trump made. Those were bad. But I do think there are people who look up to celebrities. I know there are people who look up to celebrities as some beacon of truth, and Cardi B just absolutely rolled him in the most viral way possible. But wait, there is more. I want to show you Nick Fuentes. I know we all hate this guy. One of the worst guys in the world, but you guys are going to like this clip. He calls out Trump for having a cult.
Garbage. And at the Trump rallies, they're yelling, trash for Trump, trash for Trump. And I saw other people. I saw white guys. I saw Hispanic guys inside trash cans, jumping out of them with Trump signs. White guys with garbage bags that say trash for Trump 2024. And that was kind of like, to me, that was the moment when I realized Trumpism was a cult. That was the moment when I realized liberals are right. That was the moment when I realized it has gone too far. It is Frankenstein's monster. We have created a golem. It is a problem.
I just thought that was funny, but I do want to remind you guys, this is one of the most vile human beings on the planet. There are compilations of him saying that Jewish people need to be eradicated, that women need to go back to like being burned at the stake or need to live under Taliban rule. This is not a good guy, but when you have terrible people realizing that Trumpism is a cult, I think that says more about Trumpism than it says about the liberals. Now, there's a few things I want to show you because this one was cracking me up. So just to run you guys up to speed, yesterday an Ann Selzer poll came out in Iowa. Iowa, and the reason this is so big is because Ann Selzer is historically accurate. Here's her history of polls versus her results. Check out this accuracy. So in 2022, she said Republicans would win the Senate in Iowa by 12, they won by 12. In 2020, Ann Selzer said Republicans would win the presidency by 7, they won it by 8. In 2020, she said Republicans would win the Senate by 4, they won it by 7. She's had a massive reputation. She missed a little bit in 2018, but still a 5-point miss is the biggest one she's missed. But then back to 2012, she said Obama would win the presidency by 5. He won the presidency by 6. She is known for being insanely accurate in Iowa. And yesterday, we were all expecting a bombshell poll. The expectations for this bombshell poll were Trump plus 5. Trump plus 4 in Iowa. Those numbers right there would have given Kamala a landslide across the country. Trump should be winning Iowa by 9 or 10 points if you go based off just common knowledge, but we were expecting Trump maybe plus 4, plus 5, which means there's a massive shift. We got Kamala plus 3. So this Trump supporter on Twitter, On Point Politics, he's got a MAGA cap. He said, in 45 minutes, we will see the results of the Ann Selzer poll. No one has gotten the poll leaked to them. Anyone you see who says they've gotten the poll is either lying or trolling. See you in 45 minutes. A little bit cocky, a little bit smug. Someone then says, honestly, both sides put too much weight into her poll. They used the wrong 2. And this Trump supporter says, you do realize this has been a relatively accurate Iowa poll, right? And you can go through this guy's Twitter. He is relentlessly defending the Selzer poll leading into it. 45 minutes later, Ann Selzer tweets out, Kamala Harris leapfrogs Donald Trump to take lead near Election Day in Iowa, and this same MAGA troll posted, Ann, you're an embarrassment. Was the Diddy paycheck really worth it? You are absolutely kidding. This dude flipped in the course of 45 minutes. These people are not savable at this point. At the same time, no wonder Kamala Harris is damn sweeping. Hulk Hogan teases possible Trump admin role while donning orange sanitation worker vest on Halloween. That's a sequence of words that has never been put together in the English language before. And it's just, imagine showing this headline to somebody in 2004. I think they would freak the hell out and just, yeah, I don't know. Here's Donald Trump freaking out about his mic.
Fix the mic. You gotta be kidding. Do you want to see me knock the hell out of people backstage? You want to see me?
Dude, this guy actually gets really mad during this segment. He begins to slam the mic against the podium. Just watch how he hits the mic right about here.
Deal. Pretend you're listening to it perfectly, and I'll come back and do another one, okay? With a decent...
Okay, that wasn't him joking around or being on... Okay, that wasn't him joking around or doing a bit. He was pissed.
I'll make you a deal. Pretend you're listening to it perfectly, and I'll come back and do another one, okay? With a decent...
He grits his teeth. He smacks it right there. I mean, he deserves it all. He is getting angry and also wondering why he's slipping in the polls. But the thing is, you are pissing off women across the country. The thing that this Ann Selzer poll showed was that Donald Trump is losing women, elderly women in Iowa, independent women in Iowa, white women in Iowa. Women of all races in Iowa are rapidly moving towards Kamala Harris. And it's probably because Trump says stuff like this. Yesterday, he laughed after a supporter yelled that Harris worked on the corner, not McDonald's. As former President Donald Trump faces a deficit with women in the polls, he has spent some final days of his campaign defending himself from accusation of misogyny and then doubling down on some of that very misogyny. Yet there he was on Saturday night, chuckling after a supporter shouted a crude joke suggesting that the woman Trump is running against had been a prostitute.
Significant liar. And when you lie about something so simple, she never worked there. But I did a little bit. This place is amazing.
If you didn't hear it, somebody yelled, she worked on a corner. I mean, that is a type of politics that is just unprecedented in America. Saying stuff like that about your opponent, and then they want to gaslight us and say that we've taken it to new lows. I cannot wait to be out of this era, but there's just one thing I want to tell you guys. Please go vote and actually do the mobilization. I know we're getting cocky over the past 24 hours because of these polls, but if you guys are watching this video and you haven't voted, or you don't plan on voting, or you don't have a plan with your friends and families, you're part of the problem. You are part of the problem. So go vote on election day. If you vote on election day, you are the absolute best. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.